Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for this is your bonus reading for the rest of 2022. In your first row here, we're going to look at your current general energies, and you have this cat spirit that says claim your independence. I feel that some of you definitely, I knew this before this Ten of Swords came out, that some of you have had a difficult ending with a person. I do feel like, I'm not calling you out here, Capricorn, but I do feel some of you are still looking back on the past here. But it's like this Empress energy is really telling me, don't sell yourself short. Look at this. If you're thinking about a past connection, Capricorn, I really feel there's something much better coming in for you. And I feel like this past person was nothing. I feel like they were toxic. I feel if you're looking back on a past connection, it just wasn't, maybe your brain at the time has made it something that you thought you wanted, but I feel like there's much better love opportunities coming in for you if you want new love. But I also feel kind of like the trick or the secret here is that you have to be, I feel like you have to open up to it, and I feel like you have to be open to it. I also feel that, obviously the Empress can represent independence. You have this claim your independence card. So even outside of love, I feel some of you could be literally claiming your independence in work. You could be starting your own business or doing something more, kind of more on your own, which is very different than what I've been saying all year. So there you go. But I also feel again, still teamwork makes the dream work. Let's make one thing clear for the rest of your life. But also you could just be getting into a leadership position or a leadership role where you're making the decisions. You have the Page of Swords, the Empress, and the Ten of Swords. I definitely feel there was some sort of ending in your past. It could be a difficult ending involving love. But again, I really see that Empress as you selling yourself short. It's like this, if this was a person, for example, I feel like they weren't even worthy of you. Not even close. I feel if this was a business or a job that you left, or maybe they fired you or whatever, I feel like it wasn't even what you're meant to do. It's not even good enough for you, right? So literally something wasn't or isn't good enough for you here, Capricorn, because here you are. I feel like this is the energy that you're entering into this reading as. I feel like you're entering into the reading as the Empress. Doesn't matter what gender you are. I feel like you're just entering in an abundant position, but you also need to see it. So you might be sitting there saying, I don't have abundance. Exactly, because you need to see that you are the Empress. You need to see what you have learned. And also, I think that it's if we're still holding on to some bozo from the past, it's then we're not living in our Empress energy. We're saying, okay, universe, that I know that's the best I can do. When what we should be saying is opening up to new opportunities. That's why I always say don't go back to exes. I always tell people this. People always get mad. I'm like, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. But is it really the best you can do? That's why I say it. Because are you limiting yourself or what, right? Half the time, if they left you, you're limiting yourself. They are literally saying, my life would be better if I left you. That's the way I look at separations, right? That they're literally taking the chance, right? Especially if they left you, that they can find something better. So it's shouldn't you find something better? I think so. You have the Page of Swords here. So I feel like the Page of Swords is about kind of looking back on the past. Again, I do feel that this is encouraging you to kind of let go of the past. I would also say that for those of you, I kind of feel this is an energy here, the Page of Swords, as in, I do feel it's encouraging you to put your energy into researching something that could be making you more independent. So if you're learning a new skill, if you're thinking about going back to school, you end with the Page of Pentacles, really good for that. So, I think if you're thinking of those things, really good. With the Page of Swords, you have this negotiation card. You can't negotiate desire is what it boils down to. We can't make a person be interested in us, right? It just doesn't work that way. And again, I always say when you get to that point in a relationship where you're literally negotiating intimacy or desire, that is always a bad sign. So, because it just doesn't work like that. And what I would say here is that I do feel like there could be a lot of energy available for you to negotiate. So if you're buying anything right now, like a car, a house, whatever, I would not accept the first price. I'd be negotiating for sure. With the Empress, you have this caution card. Again, I would be cautious of selling yourself too short. And I also feel that there is a lot of attention. Look at all these animals coming to this person here. And so you could be getting a lot of attention, but I feel like maybe you have learned the lesson of being more picky And, I feel like you should as the Empress. So I feel this is saying, like, don't just allow something into your life. I feel this is asking you to really look at things. With the Ten of Swords, you have this vision card. Love it because the Ten of Swords, the sun is coming up in the background. On this card here, the sun is coming up on in the background. So I feel like you're finally seeing things clearly here, Capricorn. You're finally seeing kind of like maybe some actions you need to take or some things that you need to do here, which is great. Next in the area, what are we doing? Oh yeah, the biggest change that you could be making at this time, you have this first quarter moon in Capricorn. It says, unleash your kindest self. So definitely time to be kind to people and caring. Can we get more details here? You also have this new moon in Sag. It says, focus on the positive. I would definitely be focusing on exactly what you want with the Knight of Cups showing up in your first position. You also have the Four of Wands in the Death card. The Knight of Cups is a card of love. I definitely feel new love coming in for you. So if you want love, definitely available. Someone very passionate. You have the Ace of Cups. You also have this Yang energy card, which is very similar to the Ace of Wands. So I see like a very passionate connection coming in for you. Could be a water sign. You also have a lot of earth here as well, so could be an earth sign. But what I would say here is I feel like it's someone who has big dreams. I feel like you have big dreams as well, and that's probably the thing that's going to stand out to you. It's like this person, I think they have a lot of dreams. Maybe you meet this person, and maybe you're talking to them, and they're talking future, but like in a good way. They're not, they're present, but they have big dreams. Right? So I feel that could be coming in for you. Very driven energy as well. I feel like you're very similar if you're attracting love. It's like, and this is like a big change that's coming in for you. I feel also, even if you don't want love, I feel like you are more driven than you ever have been at this time. And, your next row is meant to represent the unexpected, but I kind of feel it's a little unexpected in the sense that maybe you've been feeling tired. Maybe you've been feeling not your usual self, or maybe this year, the whole year, maybe you haven't been feeling very driven. It's almost like I feel like an injection of just ready to go. Like I feel motivated all of a sudden. I feel like, okay, like I'm ready to wake up and get moving. So for a lot of you, I get that on the Knight of Cups, which is not really what this card means. Although what I would say, any of the Cups cards could represent a passion. It's like your heart, the cup. And, if you're developing a new passion, a new skill, definitely would make sense. You have the Four of Wands here. I feel if you're meeting a new person, definitely could lead to marriage. But I also feel that this is saying the biggest change that you're making at this time is kind of creating more freedom. The Four of Wands is a card of a finish line. You can see it's kind of like a finish line up here. And it is the card of freedom and celebration in the tarot. So I feel like you could be celebrating your freedom from something, maybe something that has been holding you back, something that has kind of made you also not happy as well with the Death card. It's kind of interesting. You have a ton of imagery here with the sun rising, Back here, the sun is coming up between the two pillars that are on the moon right here. So I feel for a lot of you, and right next to it, you have that Pisces card, the vision card, which has the sun coming up, the sun rising. So I feel for a lot of you, there's a lot of happiness, like returning to your life, or there are a lot of things to be happy about returning to your life here. Let's see. With the Knight of Cups, you have this inspiration card. Love it. Anything, I keep telling people this whole entire year, we need to follow our inspirations, no matter how crazy those things are. When you follow your inspirations, you live an inspirational life, plain and simple. And to me, with Pluto entering into Aquarius next year, that's pretty much what we should be doing, is inspiring people, just focusing on doing things that could inspire people to action or inspire people to change their life or whatever. I always say it's like we can't make anyone change their life. There's nothing you can do, right? So the best thing to do, I believe, is to be a living example for other people, because then the people that want to change will change. And eventually, if more people do it, then everyone will want to do it because everybody's doing it. So that's what I'd be doing here, Capricorn, following your inspiration. With the Four of Wands, you have this assertion card. Like I said, I feel this if you're attracting love, I feel like you're attracting someone very assertive, very driven, very focused. They have big dreams. But here's the thing. I feel like they are like legitimately like working towards these things. It's like there are plenty of people that can tell you all about the multi-million-dollar company that they're going to start, but actually starting it is another thing. I feel like this person's like in the process, literally doing it. That's probably the thing that will stand out to you. Could be an Aries. I also feel like this is you, though. Like I feel a lot of you are in the process. That's the word, that's really popping into my head, is that you're in the process of making a big change. And I feel like you're facing some fears. He's facing this dragon. Dragons represent fears and dragons also guard gold. So, that's why I encourage people, face your fears at this time for sure. With the death card, you have this practicality card. I feel like you are being very practical in like the best way possible. Normally, I'm not a big fan of this card, but I actually like this. I feel like you're very matter of fact. I feel like you're like kind of down to, brass tacks, very straightforward on all things. And I also kind of like this because I feel like you're being reasonable with your dreams in the sense that it's like, I think you understand that you're dreaming big, but also I think you understand the things that you have to do. And it's kind of like you're being more reasonable with yourself, which is probably encouraging yourself. Like if we have these big dreams, right? Like, oh, I'm going to make $10 million overnight, but then you don't make $10 million overnight, you're going to be disappointed. I feel like you're the opposite here. I feel like you're saying, I want to make $10 million, but I understand that I have to start somewhere. So I feel like you're like kind of being very reasonable at this time. And again, it's just going to be more encouraging than it is going to be disappointing, which is great. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Yang energy card. Again, if you're attracting a person in love, I feel what's unexpected is how passionate this connection could be. And again, you have basically everything here. It could be any sign. I think really the most important thing is that you will notice about this person is I feel like they're like rock solid, driven, focused, like we already talked about. So that's what I'd be looking at. I also feel that for some of you that you could, like something is catching on. It's kind of like that word is popping into my head. Like when a trend catches on, that's what I'm seeing in my head is like for you, if you have like a business or something, you could be developing like a creative idea. And I feel like it really catches on. It's like catching fire. It's, catching a lot of attention. All those things are popping into my head. You have the Devil, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. The Devil is, of course, your energy. So I just feel like this is you showing up in this position. Saturn's about to enter into Pisces and I don't know, could be interesting for you. I feel like, there could be you working on some of your dreams, some of your ideas. Could be a little dreamy is what I would say to you, Capricorn, over the next few years. You could be in this like dream state, having Jupiter and Neptune there right now, your dreams could be a little bit more on fire as well. And I feel the trick for you is taking action. So don't be afraid to take action on your ideas. You have the Knight of Swords here. What else did I see? Yeah, if you have love coming in, I feel like someone wants to rush in. You go up to the Page of Pentacles, which I feel is partially a new person. Could be a fellow Earth sign. Again, Earth really stands out to me in your reading, so it wouldn't surprise me. If it's not an Earth sign, it's probably someone who has a ton of Earth in their chart as well. And I feel like this person's very driven, but see, like very persistent. I don't really like the Knight of Swords, honestly, because this horse looks stressed out. It's like he's forcing something to happen. So you might have to tell someone to hold their horses or slow down. I would make sure to communicate with this person if they're moving too quickly or whatever. At the same time, I feel like this is just communication coming in for you. So, I feel for some of you could just be someone rushing in with communication that they are in love with you. So take how it resonates. If you don't want love, even if you do, I feel for a lot of you that there's like a lot of fulfillment coming in for you here. It's like, but a certain flow. Sometimes I think things just work. And, I feel not only the end of this year, but really into next year, I feel the energy is just working for you and it's probably just leading to a lot of progress. But I do feel there could be unexpected love communication for sure. With the Devil, you have this Revenge card. I would definitely be careful of anyone from the past. This card's come up for a lot of people. I would say, especially if you've been dealing with an Aries, a Pisces, a Virgo, if you have been dealing with any those three signs, that's really what's popping into my head here, then I would be careful of this. I'm not saying like someone's going to do something to you or, take revenge against you. And again, Mars retrograde, I always say, even if someone does something to you during Mars retrograde, ignore it, let it go, because the truth always comes out after the retrograde is over. And so, especially Mars retrograde, it's best not to do anything. But, I do feel like some of you could be like have someone kind of, who you feel like is taking revenge or maybe you just feel like they want to take revenge. This person probably stole your energy in the past, but I almost feel like that big person is you on the card. And it's like, it doesn't matter. No one could do anything to you. I feel like if this message is for you, that this person did something behind your back is what I'm getting intuitively, just looking at that card. And, I feel like it's because they feel small, like this right here, this small person. I'm not trying to flip you off there. I'll go like this. But over there, I feel like they feel small, and I feel like they did something behind your back. With the Knight of Swords, you have this Charity card. yeah, just focusing on giving, sending love and light to people like this right here. If you happen to have had a person like this, I feel like you know that this person did something. So if you don't have a person like that, that part of the message is not for you. Don't create something in your reality that doesn't need to happen, right? But what I'd say here is I feel like, kind of giving would be a good thing for you right now. With the Ace of Cups, you have this detachment card. This is exactly why you are attracting love into your life. I don't think you're detached in a bad way. I think you're just focusing on what you can control right now, Capricorn. And maybe not this second, not right now, but, as we move through the end of the year here, I kind of feel this is the energy that you feel like you want to be in, where you're just like, I'm just going to do what I can do, and that's it. When we do that, when we detach, when we let go, the floodgates open, right? That's when everything we want shows up for us. I'm convinced. I've seen it, right? So that's what I would do there. Next you have 3 cards here apparently. In the energy of messages from your future self, you have this house card that says relocation home. I already talked about this something. With the Ace of Cups, I wanted to say that if you're like moving or something, I feel like there's going to be a lot of happiness in a move. You have this gate card that says opportunities, home, and you also have this old man that says inheritance mail. I do feel like some of you literally could be getting an inheritance, or you could be getting money from a person, and it could help you like move or buy a house or something along those lines. So I do feel that's like a legitimate message. I also feel like I'm pretty sure it's you. For like the past 2 years, I've been feeling additional benefits to a move. So what that means is it means if you're moving, you could find a place that's like cheaper. Maybe you get a job that pays you more money, and maybe it's also bigger, right? It's like a win-win-win type situation. So for some of you, I feel you could be doing that. You could be finding some sort of like win-win-win type situation in a move, and it's just going to be like, I think it's just going to make your life easier for the most part. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, see, something is changing your life in a good way with the Wheel of Fortune. I kind of feel you've recognized cycles as well. I always say that we want to be at the center of the wheel here on the Wheel of Fortune. When we are at the center of the wheel, it's like things are changing around us. Things are kind of, the other wheels are spinning around us and things are happening. But when we're at the center of the wheel, we can see things coming. We can take control of the cycles. And I feel for some of you, you're starting to do that. You're taking control of cycles in your life. And I feel like your future self wants you to do that as well. For whatever reason, I feel like your future self wants you to pay attention to cycles. You have the Seven of Wands here. I feel like this is saying once you make a decision, don't get off the decision. I feel like you are not getting off of a decision, plain and simple. Like for those of you that have a weird ex over here that did something behind your back, I feel like you have made up your mind. It's like you're not allowing this person in ever again. So, I feel like you're just moving forward, and that's pretty much it. There's really not much to say. For others, I feel like your future self, again, for all of you, I feel like your future self wants you to be more confident in like your beliefs. I always say that the Seven of Wands, it's a card of conviction. It wants us to believe something deep down inside our DNA, not even deep in our bones, deeper than that. When we believe something so deeply, when we believe that we will have something, then we will have it. But you have to believe it that deeply. So that's what I would do there. And you have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like your future self wants you to be open to love for some of you. If you want love, of course, we don't have to accept love in our life. But if you want it, then I feel like your future self is saying there's a person coming in. I kind of feel like maybe you're like, is this person young? Like I get this young thing. You know who's popping into my head is Eckhart Tolle. Like I don't know if you've ever seen Eckhart Tolle. He's like 70 something years old, but he looks like he's about 12 years old, right? It's like a 12-year-old, 70-year-old. So I don't know why that's popping into my head. You could be attracting a person who maybe has a baby face, or maybe they look young, but there's something more to that story as well. I feel like if you watch Eckhart, he is just very childlike in a good way. It's like, I think people like that, he has totally let go of outcomes and all that other stuff. So it makes him have a very childlike energy in the sense that he is joyful. So you could be attracting a person like that, but you could also be attracting a person where, again, remember what I said, this person's like a little bit of a dreamer, I think. And, that's kind of like the intuitive feeling I get. And maybe you think their dreams are a little bit immature, but at the same time, I would be looking at their actions, because maybe their actions can back up their dreams. And that's what I'll say here. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Loss card. You definitely experience a loss. And again, I feel this is why your future self is saying stay open to the possibility of love, because it kind of looks like some of you have been hurt significantly. Or, it's going to be different for all of you, but I feel like you've been hurt in the past. With the Seven of Wands, here you go. Are you kidding? You have this acquisition card. See, part of me feels like you stood up for yourself recently, Capricorn. Could be in love. it could be in some other area of your life, and you're being rewarded is what this is saying to me. So if it's love, I feel like you could be attracting like a power couple type vibe person. Could be attracting a person who, where you both have a glow up here, but it's because you stuck up for yourself. This could also be happening in work or business as well. It's like you stood up for something. I kind of feel this is past energy, which is weird. This is coming up in the area of your future self, but it makes sense because I feel like your future self is almost saying like, if you stood up for yourself recently or if you're about to, but you're sticking up for something deep, like your morals, or some sort of belief. And I feel like you've made a decision. By sticking to that decision, you're being rewarded, clearly. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have this optimism card, so much happiness, so much good stuff coming in for you because you're trusting yourself, Capricorn. That's why, plain and simple, you've detached from outcomes. I feel like you're trusting yourself, and it's just that simple. I'm going to pull 6 of these Oracle cards now, as I have for everyone, and we are just going to see what comes up. These are just going to be additional messages for the end of the year. You have this card that says, give yourself some credit for how far you've come. Literally. I feel that this whole entire reading, basically, if we were to sum the whole reading up, that's basically what it's saying. It's like you have stuck up for yourself in some area of your life and you're being rewarded, plain and simple. So give yourself some credit. This card says, see the good in what you call bad. Nothing is suffering. Nothing in your suffering is meaningless. I think, was it you or a Taurus? I don't know. Everything blends together when I do a million readings a day, but I just told a story about, like something crazy happening, like your aunt getting bit by a rabid dog and, all this other stuff. And I don't know. It's probably not making sense, but I feel like you've been through it, plain and simple, and I feel like you're earning something from it. I always tell people, get the gold from your negative situations. Next, you have don't let people suck the air out of your spirit. These are probably toxic people, so I would definitely protect yourself from toxicity. You have this recognition card. You will get the recognition and the rewards you deserve. Love it. Definitely. I feel this is in all areas of your life, and this is really coming from like the universe. You have this settling card. I literally said this, do not settle, basically. Your soul is telling you you're on the wrong path. This has to do with a settling situation, that Page of Swords at the beginning. There's no negotiation here that needs to be had with a past person. There is none. You don't owe this person anything. That's where this message is coming in. So, gone. Kick them to the curb. You have this exploring card. It says you're exploring different potential paths to success. Love it. I would explore. I think the end of the year, I literally just said it Taurus as well, that I think the end of this year is an amazing time for exploration, trying new things, learning new ideas, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to pull 3 cards now. These 3 cards are going to answer one question, so feel free to pause the reading if you need time to think of a question. If you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 together at the end, and we are just going to do like a personalish reading. So pause now if you have a question. But you have the Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, and the Page of Cups. Definitely love coming in for you. If you're asking about some new love, could be a fire sign or water sign or a combination of both. Again, that would make sense. Someone who has big dreams, very driven though, that would make perfect sense about exactly what I just said. But very passionate connection with that Ace of Wands. So why can't I get this right? I don't know. There you go. So I feel something really good. I also feel that this is encouraging you to go on an adventure. The Ace of Wands is a new beginning. It's basically out with the old, in with the new. And everybody's been getting the Ace of Wands like crazy. I've never seen it so much in all my years of reading. And the Page of Wands like go on an adventure. Page of Cups is the dream. So I feel for some of you, you need to move closer to some sort of dream, wish, or goal that you've had for a very long period of time, or something that you're thinking about doing. Don't be afraid of changing, is what I'm getting here, Capricorn. It's like sometimes I think we, maybe we make the mistake of telling people, I'm going to start this business, I'm going to do this thing, and it doesn't work out when we want to change direction. And it's like that makes people uncomfortable because they're not used to change. So it's like I've had a million people in my life personally that have told me I'm spinning my tires every time I make a change, right, in business or work. But, it's also made me very successful. So, it's like one of those things where should we be listening to what these people say? Probably not. So you do you, Capricorn, is what this reading is saying. But thank you for being here, Capricorn. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.